than after we've shipped it. So please do take a look at that. And there's a lot of support for that from IBM Research. So again, just to recap, as we wrap up, 3 things I would like you to take away about our strategy and vision: openness, value, and choice. Openness and choice being different. Universal access, standard scrutiny here. It's all things you come to expect over the last almost 20 years that both of us together have been working on the Lotus platform. And with that, I'll just say thank you, and we can open it up for some questions. I think we have a few minutes. Still a shy group. I really can't. John.
Is it true your birthday's tomorrow?
Question is it true my birthday's tomorrow? Maybe. Yes, it is. You know it. Any other questions? Any serious questions, I should say. No? All right, well, if you're too shy, I'll be here all of today. I'm going to try to be back tomorrow as well. I'm not sure I'll be able to do that. But stop me, I'll be here. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Look forward to meeting you and connecting with old friends as well. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Chris from Vox Mobile.
Thanks, Dave. We have Chris Snyder from Vox Mobile for Units. I'd like to let you know, I'm not sure you're aware of, we actually have the IBM Innovation Center here with labs. So it gives you, everyone here, an opportunity to actually take some of the labs that you could normally take in Chicago. So we have 3 people from the IC. So if you can and want to try to take a lab, they'll be in Arlington room. So our next speaker is Chris Snyder, CEO of Vox Mobile. And I would, Chris, you ready?
I think so. It's adjusting in, too.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so you've been shy with Scott. You've been shy with David. Good news is I stand between you and the rest of the fun for the day. So I will not ask you for questions. I may occasionally ask you to raise a hand, just so I get a feel for the audience. But overall, my topic will be short. I think as we heard Scott talk about what one community is doing from the form of building infrastructure, bringing the access component of technology to the masses. And I think a lot of what his message really is, it gets lost on us folks that maybe the more fortunate side, is they're really affecting the public and the social side of this. Some of the actual community work they're doing is for folks that don't have access to broadband and to other data components. What I really enjoyed about David's talk then is it went from, hey, there's the access piece, but then there's also how we're going to interact, right? If we have access now, how do we enable collaboration? And let's have the software component start to enter the scene. What I'd like to spend a few moments on today is talking about mobility, which ultimately is part of the enablement process for collaboration, right? But it is just the way in which we access collaborating together. Overall, I think that one of the takeaways can be is that collaboration is not an elegant solution, right? I mean, how many diagrams have we seen already today, right, of all the moving pieces and parts, as well as just formal terminology for identifying what the structures for collaborating actually are. And if we're doing it right, if we're truly engaged in collaboration, like maybe a good roundtable conversation that you're going to have today, there should be debate, right? There should be facts that are interjected. There should be discovery that happens as part of the collaboration, which starts the whole equation on how can mobile start to impact collaboration. There we go. My quick 2 minutes or less on Vox Mobile. Many of you know us. Many of you are our clients. We're happy to see you here again today. If you don't know us, please stop in. Meredith, Chris, Alex are in the back of the booth. We'd love to interact with you and talk about our component and how we're trying to help your organization on the mobility side. We've been doing this for 6 years, and while it doesn't sound like very long, in mobility space, it seems like an eternity, especially with all the changes, especially when we go back over the last year to 18 months with the influx of choice and devices and platforms that have been thrown at all of us. And all of us as technologists involved in this process are being faced with not just a severe learning curve, but also a social curve. A A social curve meaning that it's not just about what the company wants from a standards perspective, it's about what the user base is demanding and how we will help them continue to collaborate by leveraging the choices that they're now bringing to the table. Our overall line of services are really on the two sides. It's the end user managed services and there's platform services. And that goes anywhere from server infrastructure support to outsourcing of some of that server infrastructure as well, and also helping with the end users. So I too had the opportunity not to travel the world, mostly the US and Canada, and meet with clients. And on the mobility side, what we found is that it's no longer about function, it's much more about fashion. So as an experiment to prove this point, everybody take out your mobile device, right? Hold up. Now hand it to your neighbor on your right and give it to them permanently. Go ahead, just do it. You're not going to, right? This is your fashion. Right? This is you. This is how you identify yourself. And God help you if the guy on your left had a palm tree. I saw somebody today, I swear. And he was in the corner creeping around. He was a little embarrassed to still pass one. But mobility is no longer about what your business was giving you. It has become very personal. It is absolutely about fashion. And I was joking with somebody earlier about the iPhone 4 and what a beautiful instrument it was until we put the rubber bumper on it, which was not a design defect. It was meant to be that way. But ultimately, this diversity of choice has added all kinds of complexity of support. And the challenge with that complexity of support to us as administrators and IT professionals and our involvement in this collaboration around mobility is it becomes very wearing and tiring, right? Of keeping up with, well, in that situation, you don't actually have busy lookup on your calendar. You know, you can't see that function on the next meeting you're trying to have. Well, that one might be secure. We don't know yet because it just came out yesterday, and we're trying to figure that out. But thank you for bringing it into the office today to show us. There is a lot of complexity when it comes to support, and it's actually starting to wear on a lot of us as professionals. My challenge to you, as we start to think more about what our role is related to mobility in collaboration, is to not just say no. And I'll go into that a little bit more in a second. So convergence, I think I did my first voice over IP install in 2002. It was Cisco, and it was ugly. It was terrible. And we were at that point we were trying to join 16 offices. We were trying to bring up some video in addition to it, and we were running around getting the budget from this organization saying convergence is upon us, convergence is upon us. We might have been a little bit ahead of our time, or maybe we're on the crux of what was coming. But I think what we now start to see is that there's so much that can be now pulled into what convergence is. Mobility's role in convergence is actually changing. And I grabbed a Cisco CS image up there because I think this is actually pretty interesting. As some of you may know, it actually runs on an Android platform. It's meant to be an iPad competitor. They're billing it as an enterprise class product versus a personal product. We could go into some debates about that. What I really like about it from a mobile standpoint, though, it is a device that will be beyond your four walls, that now interfaces and integrates into normal streams of communication that you've already been using, i.e. your desk phone. You'll have other applications on it. And this is just the first of many different types of options that we have coming our way for us to figure out, to support, to help enable collaboration via the mobile components that are out there. For the longest time, we've been able to have voice. We've been able to get data on our smart devices. Video captured. I think it started off on the personal side. You see more and more things posted on YouTube all the time, even from business bloggers, right? Capturing conferences like this or quick little interviews, and now that's becoming part of our collaboration. What's really exciting is, well, we can start to take the forward-facing cameras. I don't think there's a product coming, whether it's the next generation iPad, the BlackBerry's BlackPad, the different new devices from Android coming out, that doesn't have a forward-facing camera or dual cameras in it. And part of that is that ability to interact. And we've all seen the Apple commercial. By the way, I hope my wife never tells me she's pregnant over her iPhone. I'm really upset about that happening. But I guess but it gets the point across, right? That there is an intimacy of that collaboration where you can see somebody that you might take it that far to actually have that kind of interaction with somebody. But mobile is at the forefront of that collaboration. The ways in which we choose to enable our organizations and our groups that are working together, I think there's great amounts of opportunities. And again, I think For us in this room today, I would encourage you not to say no to the opportunities, but to start to understand how we step towards them. So I promised you to be quick. I promised you I'd get you to it. So this is my last slide, and here's some of the key things I just wanted to leave you with. We as technologists and architects around this space have, I think, more than just a professional role. I think we have a noble role when it comes to enabling communication and collaboration, especially as it hits mobility. I know there's a lot of complexity in the options out there. I know there's a lot of software and hardware vendors that are talking to you, and it's at times overwhelming to figure out what your role is in this. I would encourage you to think about it and the ability to be open to it, to embrace new ideas. I know most of you are today as you're going to different sessions and thinking about it differently. But the opportunity for collaboration, how it affects not just your organization, but your local communities, as well as some of the expanded communities, the different niche ones. I thought David had some great ideas in there when we get to the extranet components of our communities and our social groups, and how we can start to have those folks interact beyond just the immediacy of our enterprise or our organization professional side. So please contribute yourself, your ideas, and to the construction of these communities, and be supportive. Be supportive meaning that at some point, the IT folks that I've had an opportunity to spend with over the last 15 years, we become the naysayers, right? Because these salespeople bound into our offices with great ideas about what they're going to do next, and all we see is hundreds of hours of work, right? And all the project management and all the budget conversations. And what they're hopefully trying to do is think outside the box and how we can enable that collaboration. So enjoy the rest of the day. Enjoy tomorrow. It sounds like a great event out of Pipwick and Frolic. Comedians, after all that you're going to do and digest, hopefully it's a good opportunity to laugh, enjoy yourselves, network some more, and don't forget to stop by and see us at the Fox Smoke booth, my last plug. Enjoy, guys. Thanks.
I'd ask you for questions, but I see the last two guys don't.
Thanks, Chris. We're going to take a break. There's still plenty of food and everything. And at I think 11 o'clock, the session starts. I believe the next break is on 11:40. The next break is 10:45. Well, that's right now. And then we'll have an afternoon break. And lunch will be served here as a breakfast. So you can enjoy yourself and then go to the sessions.